So these are just some examples here of how the Loggregation UI can be used. There's lots and lots of use cases. However, something to be aware of is that there are also lots of limitations as well. So you have to be aware of how to use this software as well. The first is that you'll notice, if I just remove this template ID from the query here, you'll notice that these fields are grouped together by message ID. So remember that Loggregation will look at the structure of your log and the structure of your message field as well. So if you don't have a message field, that will not be part of the classification. So you may see that you have different logs from different applications, and if they don't have a message field, they may be grouped together. So a message field is a good idea to differentiate your different applications from one another. So it relies on the structure and the message field. If there's no message field, it will only use the structure to cluster your logs together. Secondly, you'll see something here where the variables here are muted green. So what this actually means is that your logs are stored in the archive, and so you can't click on them right now. So the archive is like an S3 bucket that's hosted in your account. This means that you can't click on them and explore them in the same way. You have a couple of options here. The first is that you can issue an archive query, so you can actually re-index your data if you want, and that will make these values appear. However, this has an impact on your quota. So what you can do instead is you can find some unique value here, and you can jump over to the archive view, and you can query for that data in the archive directly. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't impact your quota. It has no impact on cost or usage or anything like that. It's just a really easy way of accessing your archive data without having to re-index. So we recommend that you utilize the archive query as much as possible if you see this muted green log. It's just a really clear way of solving the problem without incurring any additional costs or making things more complicated. Now, on top of this, you may see unclassified logs. So unclassified logs occur for a number of reasons. One of the most common reasons is that you have reached the maximum number of templates in a given branch. So what is a branch? So a branch is any combination of application, subsystem, and severity. So an application cube system, a subsystem could be add service, and severity could be info. Those three values form a branch. You can have 150 templates in a given branch. This is a very high number, so if you run into this, there may be something wrong with your data. But if you do run into this problem, it's only a soft limit, and what you can do is you can click on this button right down here, open up the chat help, and someone from Coralogix will be happy to help you diagnose the root cause of the issue. Another limit is the number of branches you can have per account, which is 1,000. So you can have 1,000 branches in your account. This is 1,000 combinations of application, subsystem, and severity. Again, this is a very, very high number. And what is more common is that you've included some sort of numerical value or some dynamic value inside your subsystem or your application. So what this means is that you can you end up with lots and lots of values, and really it's the same application, the same subsystem. So try to use application and subsystem very cleverly to make sure that you never reach this number. But again, it's a very high number. Again, if you have trouble, just click on the support button and someone from Coralogix will be happy to help. The final limit is the message length. So see here, this is quite a short message. But part of the problem is if this message value exceeds either 10,000 characters or 500 words, then Loggregation will not run on this document. That's because it's just simply too large for any classification algorithm to run effectively. So the way to solve this is either to change how your logs are parsed, to change the data that's being produced, or to transform the data such that the message is shorter. But if it is over either 500 words, where a word is a space delimited token, or if it's over 10,000 characters, then unfortunately it will not be processed by Loggregation, and you may benefit from using the Explore screen, the archive query, and those combinations of functionalities to investigate your data.